Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Think Time Theory. We are back again.
Welcome.
My name is Azmi.
My name is Ed.
And here we are. Let's move on. First things first. Mr. Edwin, how are you?
Good, man. How are you?
It's been a while.
What's new?
It's been a while since we do some recording. Yeah.
I know, right?
Yeah. We did a marathon of recordings.
Last time we did a couple.
And then we have like a long break, which is very, very good.
Yeah, a long stretch.
And by the way, guys, we would like to let you guys know that, of course, you can watch this on YouTube, but recently, everything's been uploaded back onto Spotify as a video podcast.
That's nice.
That means if you are at home and you have your Wi-Fi on and you want to watch us or listen to us on Spotify, what happens is you will be downloading and streaming this video instead of the audio podcast.
Very nice.
But at the same time, if you are not on Wi-Fi and you are only on data, you can do your settings on Spotify as well. It will be downloaded as a audio podcast. So it's very flexible.
That's
right?
Nice.
Yep. But at the same time, YouTube is still on. So far, we've gathered like almost 800 views in total. I'm quite surprised.
Wow.
I'm quite surprised. Let's just wait for that magic number, 1,000.
Yeah. 1,000, yes.
1,000 views. But what we want is 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah, that's what we need. Subscribe, watch, help us out.
Yeah,
so we can bring more content. We're planning a lot of things, man.
Yeah.
We have a lot of things set up for the future. A lot of cool guests are coming, so stay tuned for sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Common people like us. Common people like us. Yeah.
A lot of cool things. All right,
okay, let's get on with the show.
Yeah, man. So today, continue with my stuff that I wanted to bring. I wanted to bring my divers, man. Well, not typical divers. One of them is a typical diver. The other one is not so typical diver. And that's what I wanted to start with. If you see there in the table, if we can switch cameras, you'll see the Tudor Marine Nationale FXD.
Nice.
The reason that I say it's not so common, it's not a common diver. First of all, it's not ISO certified.
Oh.
It's not. And the reason is because... the requirements for the ISO certification is that it has to have a unidirectional rotating bezel, right?
Okay.
This one has a bidirectional rotating bezel. So instead of a count up, is a count down.
Oh.
And you can rotate both ways.
So you need to get used to it.
If
you are diving with it.
Yeah. Well, the reason were you able to see the release of the FXD when it came out?
No, not at all.
So Tudor actually has a long history with the Marine Nationale, which is like the French Navy.
Okay.
Right? They're called Marine Nationale for those that don't know. I think he started back in the 60s or the 70s. And they had stopped for some time. And in 2021 got released again in collaboration with the Marine Nationale. And it was a project that they both got involved with, where like the Marine Nationale specified what they wanted. And what they wanted was a watch that was used for dive navigation as opposed to like deep diving.
Okay.
All right. So the way they did it was like they would get the watch, right? If I can get close to the watch here. They would get the watch and they would set up the timing in a direction. For example, let's say they wanted to navigate, 100 meters north, right? For a specific amount of time. Let's say 10 minutes, right? So they would navigate that point. There will be two divers. Okay. One with the compass, so they can set the direction, and one will have the timing.
Right.
So that's how they will trace exactly where they need to be.
Because when you dive, you usually have a buddy system.
You have a buddy system. And not only that, these are combat divers, right?
Yeah.
So they may be diving at night.
Yep.
Maybe diving in very murky waters.
Yes,
they cannot see where they're going, right?
Yep,
so they have to, depend on the instruments, so to speak,
Yeah.
like IMC conditions, right? Right. So
You used to do that, right?
right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we used to do that. So if you see here, right, it can go both ways. It can be set up. It can be reset again. Timing 10 minutes, 50 minutes, 40 minutes, 30 minutes. So it's pretty cool. And the watch in the back, I'm going to take it out of the screen for a second.
You know, the whole time when you are talking about this watch, right? I was playing background music.
Right? We'll see it in post-production.
Next one, I'll let you wear my headphones.
Yeah. If you can see there in the frame, it says Marine Nationale MN22, which means that this watch was produced in 2022. I did own the Marine Nationale 2021 edition, but I sold it. I traded it for another watch, and I regretted it. And I rebought it, but I rebought the 2022 edition, which is fine.
Which is this one?
Yeah, it's that one, yeah.
So what's the difference between the 21, 22?
Nothing is the same. It's just the date is there. I mean, theoretically, the 21 could be a collectible, more collectible piece, because the 2021 came out at the end of 2021. So there's very few that were made in that year.
Oh, okay.
As opposed to the 2022, it was made
beginning of the year
for the whole year.
Yeah, okay.
Right? And then the 2023 will be made for the whole year.
Right.
And that is the difference, between those two.
Yeah.
But yeah, unconventional kind of diving watch, pretty cool. I like the blue, the color blue.
Well, I have a soft spot for divers, right?
Yeah.
I like this one a lot,
It's very cool.
Right.
And one thing, I don't know if we can probably do it, or maybe like on a post-production shoot, the whole bezel is loomed as well.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe later on.
We can check it out so they can see it. For those of you that have not seen it, the loom is amazing. It's crazy good.
It is.
Crazy,
it's
crazy.
pretty nice, man. Yeah. It just pops up, the white.
Yeah, it's super legible, man. Like that's one of the things, like divers, especially for military, because it's a military. And another thing is titanium. The body's titanium. It has fixed lugs.
Just like iPhone.
So only you can fit straps on it.
Okay. So is that the original strap?
That's the original strap that came over it. Yeah.
Right.
But as you know, the straps is a weak point of the watch, right?
Yep.
So the military they want to minimize any issues with the watch itself, right?
Just like
So they made it fixed bar, titanium, so it's light. I think only the case back is steel, but the whole body of the watch, the crown and everything is titanium.
fixed bars, guys. Just like what we discussed early on in previous episode with the CWC.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That goes back to military spec requirements, right?
Yep.
So you want to watch that, the spring bars are never going to fail. That's never going to be an issue. So, out of the equation, you're not going to lose it, because for those fixed springs, bars to get damaged, man, it's going to take a lot.
Yeah. It takes, I don't know if you can actually like break it apart. No, definitely not.
It would be maybe like, I don't know, something crazy. Like taking a round on the watch.
Your strap will break first.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
Most definitely. Yeah,
So the big question is, man.
We have some some extra guests.
My daughter just woke up. Yeah.
Wake up from her slumber.
Yeah. So what's the price on this?
These are relatively affordable, to be honest with you. I mean, Tudor is at a different price point than the parent brand Rolex, right? So I think this retail for around, I want to say $3,900 US. I want to say. That's not too bad.
Not too
bad. Comparatively, of course, it's $3,900 is a lot of money, but compared to I would say other watches in that category, I think it's really good value for money.
Yep. Definitely.
Yeah.
I like it a lot, man. Yeah.
So that's the first. The second one that I have is actually the watch that I'm wearing is
Oh, damn.
my wrist check. This is the king. The king of diving watches. The Rolex Submariner.
Oh, my.
And as you can see, man, like I think you're the same way as me. I'm not a bracelet kind of guy.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't. I feel like. I mean, I like the look of the bracelet, but they, especially for tool watches, it doesn't seem appropriate. You know what I mean? Like they should be on a strap or on a rubber band or something.
Well,
You know?
for me, I have my reasons. I just don't get comfortable wearing bracelet on my wrist.
Right.
Usually like we want to flex your
Right,
wrist,
right.
and it just gets so uncomfortable. And I just don't like having a too heavy of a watch on the
Exactly,
wrist.
yeah. It also reduces the weight a lot.
Yeah,
It does. Yeah.
yeah. So I'm more of a comfort guy when it comes
Me
to
too.
wearing watches. Yeah,
Me too. Exactly.
yeah.
And comfort. I mean, to be honest with you, as a tool watch, right? Mm-hmm. It doesn't seem practical to be using a metal strap when you're in the field.
Yep.
When you're in the water.
Yeah.
The metal starts like moving
Yeah.
around your wrist.
Yeah.
It's better
and
to have
then
a
you
strap.
get like dirt and grime in between
Exactly, yeah, it
between
just-
the links.
For me, like I probably would maybe use a metal bracelet on like maybe like an everyday watch. Mm-hmm. But like a tool watch, to me it seems better to be on a strap or on a rubber strap.
Yeah.
They're like so comfortable, like you said, very lightweight, reduces the weight. So many benefits with the straps. You know.
So this comes to the point. Listen up, everybody. According to what Edwin says, Rolex is a tool watch.
It's a tool
First
watch.
and foremost.
Yeah.
Is a tool watch.
And that brings another point that I wanted to talk about is like I've actually owned several different Submariners. I think this is probably my third or fourth Submariner. I started with the newer generation Submariners, but to me, and this is my personal opinion, the older generation Rolexes, they were more in line with what I associate Rolex to be as a tool watch.
Yeah.
Like now, with the ceramic bezels, the shininess, it doesn't seem like
The blink.
yeah, the bling is just not what I like, what I enjoy. You know?
I guess, I mean, it's, of course, it's our personal opinion, right? But the market is as such, it became more of, not a luxury watch, it became more than that.
It became more, yeah.
It became a hype watch.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's what people say, you know. I mean, Rolex is one of those brands that it transcended what it was. It became something else. I mean, what I like about Rolex in a way is that even though they're blingy, even though they're like loud, a lot of them are like very colorful and very shiny, the base of the watch is still a tool watch.
Yes,
like you can take it to the water, you can take it to the field, and it will
Yes.
perform as a tool watch.
Yes.
However, there's another part of it, right?
Yeah.
Which is like the shininess, because it already has transcended
Yeah.
what it used to be.
It gained that popularity
Exactly, yeah.
among certain
Right.
big stars
And not only that, as a brand itself, right? Rolex as a brand, you know, for them to keep increasing the price, they have to move to a different kind of level,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
They have to give the customer something else.
Yeah.
You know, as human beings, like obviously by nature, most people are attracted to colorful and shiny things, right? For the most part, right? For the
Yeah.
most part. So when you're paying tons of money for a watch, for example, and the watch is like, you know, matte, completely
Yeah,
matte,
yeah.
and nothing shiny,
Yeah.
most people is gonna say, well, this doesn't look like a luxury product to me.
Yeah.
Even though it may be, right?
Yeah.
It may be like the materials may be like top of the line.
Yeah.
And it performs at a super high standard.
Yeah.
But for them, when they see it, I mean, I'm
Yeah,
talking
for
about
so-
the
for-
general,
yeah,
the
yeah.
general population, right?
We are not hating on this thing.
Yeah, exactly,
You know,
no.
We are not hating. It's just our opinion. When you have a little bit more of knowledge or history
Right.
based on the particular watch.
Yeah.
And for someone like Ed, he stands by the history. I call him a watch historian, more than a watch collector,
Right.
because he has tons of knowledge on the history of such watches, And this is his opinion, and of course, this is also in my opinion, which I share the same with you.
Right.
And in no way that we are hating the whole thing.
No, it's totally fine.
It's in comparison. Like I want to say, I have the affinity with my G-Shocks, right?
Right.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Back in the
super.
day, G-Shocks are all black, tool watch. But eventually, in the 2000s,
Exactly. Yeah.
it became so flashy
Right.
to the point that I was a little bit put off,
Yeah.
And it's just a little bit of comparison,
Yeah, it's like that, man. Like, like sometimes as watch aficionados, right, and watch nerds as we are, we forget that these brands, they're in the business to sell watches.
Yeah.
They're not in the business of not selling or making a niche product that
Yeah.
maybe like only a small percentage of people is
Yeah.
going to buy.
Yeah.
They want to appeal to
Yeah.
everyone as
Yeah.
much as they can,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So for them to be able to do that, they have to make some moves sometimes
Yeah.
that for the core
It's in-
collector is not going to appeal, right?
It's in the business model.
It's just the way it is, man. It's really the way it is,
Yeah.
People that like shiny stuff, and when you think about it and you get into the psyche of the average consumer, right? When the company is asking a certain level of money, right?
Yeah.
What are that average consumer is going to look at and how you call it?
They have their target audience.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And when they set the price at a higher level, and you see and they think about the average consumer, like we were talking about, when they look at the watch, what makes them believe that watch is worth that money?
Yeah.
That's when the shininess comes into
Yes,
play,
yes.
the colors comes into
Yeah,
play.
yeah.
What attracts that person?
Yeah.
So
And I have to say some of these companies, they are very, very smart. They get ambassadors, who are like rappers, singers, celebrities,
Right. But talking about that's a good point. The company that started all this was Rolex, back in the early 1900s. The founder, Hans Wilsdorf, and he was a genius when he came to marketing. He's the one that started that. Remember that lady that swam across the channel in England?
Yeah.
Mercedes.
Yep.
Yeah. She strapped the Rolex here, and everything started from there. So as you can see, Rolex is what it is, not by chance.
Yeah.
It is what it is because what they have done for like already over 100 years,
Yep.
So you cannot blame. I mean, I know a lot of people, they want to hate on Rolex, but to me, like I said, I'm not a fan of the newer models, but to me, if you are into watches, if you love watches, you have to respect Rolex for what they have done.
Yeah.
You have to.
It's evolve.
Yeah, so
The
much.
involvement of things. Yeah. So guys, that's a very good insight. That's a very, very good discussion. We've never discussed this before.
Yeah, there's so many things to talk about.
We only discuss this at work when we are sitting side by side, controlling, pushing things.
Right.
Yeah, but this is a very good insight. This is, disclaimer again. This is from us, our opinions. We are not hating on anybody, right?
Yeah.
We are not hating on the brand. It is what it is.
Yeah,
Right?
definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, going back to the watch, actually, we sidetracked a little bit there on the history and stuff like that. But like I said, this is the Rolex Submariner, reference number 14060M. Okay, this is the successor of the 14060. Why M? You're probably going to ask. A lot of people, they ask this kind of question. Why the M? There was some upgrades that were done to the watch. From the 14060 to the 14060M, the movement changed.
Yeah.
That's probably the biggest one, as opposed to the previous one. I think it was the caliber 3000. This one has the caliber, if I remember correctly, 3130 caliber, which has the blue parachrome hairspring, anti-magnetic properties. And the reason that I like this one is because, to me, like I said, this one was the watch, the last, in my opinion, the last true tool watch that Rolex came out with, as far as the Submariner line.
Right.
Aluminum bezel instead of the ceramic bezel, smaller case size. So yeah, I definitely love this watch. To me, represents, what Rolex was all about before they kind of became the massive company that they are today.
Yeah.
Where everybody's like after this kind of watches. So
You
really love this watch.
You see the point to note, right? For someone like Edwin, and I also can understand, even though I don't know much about Rolex, right? But what I do know is that, when you talk about Rolex, you don't just talk about the model.
Right.
You talk about the caliber.
Yeah, exactly.
The reference.
Right, reference.
And this is something that the normal average guy will not talk about. They will just want to buy a Rolex.
Right. Well, that's one of the things that made Rolex who they are today.
Yeah.
Is the fact that their movements are so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're not decorated at a high standard like, let's say, like Patek Philippe or AP or Vacheron Constantin, obviously, but their movements were made to be accurate and to last a long, long time.
Yeah.
So when you buy a Rolex, you're buying something that, like I said,
You can hand it down.
you can hand it down and you can use it on a daily basis. You can beat it up. You can take it swimming. You can take it anywhere, and it's gonna keep on running. Like it's like for example, Toyota, right?
Yeah.
That it's not. It doesn't look amazing. It doesn't look like fancy, but that thing is gonna run forever. And same with Rolex. It's gonna run forever, man. It really comes down to the fact that you can use it all your life, take care of it, pass it down, and it will keep running, man. It will keep working perfectly.
Spoken like a true collector, historian. He knows his stuff. He knows the reference numbers, Yeah. So, yeah, guys, very good discussion between us both. Do you have anything else to show?
No, I think the Submariner is one of those watches that everybody knows about. Probably show the case back. Pretty plain, as you can see.
Yeah.
A lot of people, they engrave things on the back for the family or for yourself. Tremendously good watch, man. It's simple, but great.
When I watch some like Facebook stories or Instagram stories or whatever, right, where they have these watch collectors or watch shops, resellers in New York, for example.
Yeah.
When they deal with their customers, right, the customers don't just say, I want a Rolex Submariner.
Right.
They will specifically say, I want this reference, I want that reference.
Yeah.
So that plays a big part. If you're a true collector, you should know your stuff. That's what I feel. Not just the model,
right,
but you need to know at least the reference number, the history behind it.
That's when you know what you're talking about. Because I've never had this happen to me before, but I've heard a lot of stories like people, for example, let's say you have a watch enthusiast, right?
Yeah.
And they see somebody walking in the street with a Submariner, for example, right? Mm-hmm. And then the person, approaches the guy's like, oh my God, you have a very nice Submariner. And the guy looks at him and says like, this is not a Submariner, it's a Rolex. That's when you know that they just bought a watch because of the name. They have no idea what they're wearing. Submariner, GMT, they don't, then that's really funny.
Yeah.
I've heard many stories like that.
Really?
Yeah. They say, oh, very nice GMT. It's like, this is not a GMT, this is a Rolex. That's ridiculous, man. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Funny stories. Yeah, all around. I bet that he's not the only one who heard that before. I bet you guys who watched this particular episode, I'm very, very sure that you guys have experienced the same thing as well. Yeah. So that's it, guys. That's it for this. Wow, bro. It's our longest ever episode so far.
It's a long episode. Yeah, a lot to talk about.
Yeah. So thank you very much. Thank you for
Alright,
tuning
guys.
in, and then we'll cut this episode up, and then we'll move on to what I have to offer.
Yeah, we'll see you on the next one.
See you.